Welcome to Spectrum News Within the Week, a recap of major stories. I am Uyai Aniakan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. President Tinubu directs payment of 400,000 N-Power beneficiaries. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino empathizes with widow and children of slain inspector of police, assures of government's support. Plus, police probe gunman's motive as prey grills from mass shooting. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. First in the news within the week, President Bola Tinubu during the week directed for immediate payment of the backlog of stipends owed to N-Power beneficiaries across the country. Tinubu's directive followed the conclusion of a painstaking verification exercise initiated and concluded by the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. The President's directive, said to have been received, has attracted jubilation from over 400,000 beneficiaries across the country. Rashid Olarinwaju Zubia, the Minister's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, in a statement said the release of funds through Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, was indeed a renewed hope for the Nigerian youths for the Christmas and New Year festivities. She wished the beneficiaries who have been waiting this long due to the painstaking process of the verification exercise a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year with their loved ones. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu on Friday directed the transfer of the school feeding program from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to the Ministry of Education. The Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, announced the development during a one-day retreat on ministerial deliverables 2023-2027 for all directors and chief executive officers of all the parastatals under the ministry. Tahir said as part of his agenda to solve the growing problems of out-of-school children in the country, the president also reintroduced the school feeding program in Nigeria, basic education, to address the learning crisis and the challenges of out-of-school children currently bedeviling the country. Recall that former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration had suspended the program after many years of running it. In the meantime, the Vice President Kashim Shettima and Nigerian governors have set up committees on crude oil theft and management as well as economic affairs. This decision was taken during the 138th meeting of the National Economic Council (NEC), which was held virtually on Thursday. According to a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Communications, Stanley Nwokocha, the committees will be headed by the Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak and his Imo State counterpart Hope Uzodinma, respectively. Meanwhile, members of the committee include the Gombe State Governor, Governor of Lagos, the Governor of Akwa Ibom, the Governor of Anambra, the Governor of Niger and Governor of Kaduna State. The Special Advisor to the President on NEC and Climate Change, Rukia El-Rufai, would serve as its secretary. In another development, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on Friday announced a package of 950 million naira for 250 retirees of the military and police. Speaking at the launch of the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support, Tinubu stated that the program was created to cushion the effects of the economic situation on senior citizens. She also stated that the beneficiaries of the program will receive 100,000 naira each. She also stated that the 36 states of the Federation will receive 25 million naira each from the scheme to support beneficiaries. In a separate development, the French Parliament on Friday passed a law restraining Nigerian students and others from bringing their families to the country. According to reports by newsmen, the law was backed by both President Emmanuel Macron's Centrist Renaissance Party and Deputy of the French National Assembly, Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally. Recall that a previous draft was rejected by Parliament last week when the National Rally as well as the left voted against it. In response, the government redrafted the bill, making some of its provisions tougher. Away from that, the federal government has declared Monday and Tuesday, December the 25th and 26th, 2023, and Monday, January 1st, 2024 as public holidays to mark Christmas and New Year's Day celebrations, respectively. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, felicitates with Christians and all Nigerians at home and in the diaspora on the occasion. Tunji-Ojo enjoined Christians to emulate the life of Jesus Christ in his practice and teachings of humility, service, compassion and patience. He stressed that peace and security are critical prerequisites for economic development and prosperity. The minister assured that the federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will continue to put in place effective measures for the security of lives and property. Meanwhile, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi-Esan, within the week tasked newly appointed permanent secretaries to drop their personal ambitions and work towards aligning with the priorities of the present administration's Renewed Hope agenda. She affirmed that as skilled administrators, personal decisions must respect public feelings. According to a statement released by her office on Friday, Yemi-Esan was quoted to have given this charge while declaring open a two-day retreat organized for newly appointed permanent secretaries. In the meantime, Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Salako, says the federal government is worried over the illegal killing of elephants and other wildlife species across the country. Salako, who briefed newsmen on Friday in Abuja, condemned the recent incident in Borno. The minister said that efforts were being made by the ministry to retrieve the transmitters attached to the birds and return them to researchers in Europe. Salako said that elephants and eagles were classified as endangered species, hence hunting, capturing, possessing, trading or killing of the wild species were offences liable to prosecution according to the CITES regulation. Elsewhere, the federal government has expressed commitment to return 15 million out-of-school children back to the classrooms by 2027. The Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, disclosed this in Abuja at a one-day retreat on quick wins in the ministerial deliverables 2023-2027. Mamman explained that the learning crisis had also been a major issue, which he said was a bad product of the out-of-school menace, hence must be taken seriously. Meanwhile, he said having robust policies in place was not enough to tackle the challenges, but delivering on the policies would go a long way in addressing the problems of out-of-school children. In the meantime, a delegation of the federal government led by Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding, Yetunde Adeniji, within the week paid a scheduled visit to Osun State following the food poisoning incident that involved 18 pupils of James Primary School in Osogbo. In a statement released by her media team, Adeniji said the visit was a fact-finding one to get abreast with updates on the purported food poisoning on December the 12th under the state government's homegrown school feeding program. Meanwhile, the visit comes barely 1 week after the state government commenced a probe into the circumstances surrounding the midday meal served to the pupils under the Osun Free School Feeding Program. Meanwhile, the federal government on Friday announced the mechanical completion of rehabilitation work on Area 5 plant of the Port Harcourt Refining Company in Rivers State. It said the first phase of the plant had been completed as the facility would start refining 60,000 barrels of crude oil after the Christmas break. Reports say about 170 liters of refined petroleum products can be obtained from a barrel of crude oil. This implies that the 60,000 barrels per day production from the Port Harcourt refinery can provide an estimated 10.2 million liters of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, and other refined products. From the Green Chambers now, where the House of Representatives within the week ordered an immediate investigation into the causes of constant conflict between the Nigerian Navy and private security outfit engaged by the NNPC Limited to protect oil installations in the Niger Delta, adopting a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Donald Ojogo. The House said there was the need to immediately curb the conflict if the country is to meet its oil production benchmark on which the 2024 budget estimate is based. Meanwhile, the committee to conduct the investigation is headed by Al-Hassan Ado Doguwa, who doubles as chairman upstream, while the chairman downstream, midstream, funding, gas resources, ports and harbors, Niger Delta, environment are all members of the House Special Committee on Oil Theft. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Friday invited the immediate past Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika for questioning over the controversial national air carrier Nigerian Air. In a motion sponsored by Tegia Dixon on the floor of the House at Thursday's plenary, the Green Chamber noted that in 2016, the former aviation minister proposed an aviation roadmap with national carrier as the signature project, aiming to deliver aid to Nigerians by the end of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The lawmaker said the House is aware that the last administration spent billions of naira ostensibly to acquire the said new national carrier, but the status of the project remains unclear, regardless of billions of taxpayers' funds utilized on the project. In the meantime, the House of Representatives within the week resolved to investigate the exorbitant amounts charged by point-of-sale POS operators for withdrawal of money. Reports say the resolution to probe the operators followed a motion moved by Mohammed Shehu. Shehu lamented the high charges by the operators, stating that some POS owners charge as much as 4,000 naira to withdraw 10,000 naira. The lawmaker said POS operators are now literally selling banknotes to customers, noting that the government has the power to regulate the activities of the operators. Following the presentation, the House resolved its committees on banking regulations and digital and electronic banking should investigate. Now to judicial matters. The Supreme Court on Friday affirmed the election of Peter Mba as the governor of Enugu State. The Apex Court resolved all the issues in favor of the first respondent, Governor Peter Mba. Reports say the Apex Court, in a unanimous decision delivered by a 5-member panel of justices, dismissed an appeal filed by the Labour Party and its candidate Chijioke Edonga, challenging the outcome of the governorship election held on March 18 this year. Away from that, the embattled former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has been released from Kuje prison. Umar Abubakar, the Nigerian Correctional Service NCOS man confirmed this exclusively to newsmen on Saturday. Abubakar said Emefiele was freed on Friday from Kuje prison after fulfilling his bail conditions. The development came a month after Justice Hamza Muazu on November the 22nd, 2023, granted Emefiele 300 million naira bail, including a condition that his sureties must have landed properties in the Maitama district of Abuja. Justice Muazu ordered that Emefiele be remanded in prison until his bail conditions. Recall that Emefiele was arraigned in court by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Nigerian federal government over alleged 1.2 billion naira procurement fraud. In another development, the National Orientation Agency within the week commended the Nigerian police for swiftly disowning, arresting and dismissing 2 special constables who attempted to extort a Dutch powerbike cyclist from the force. Recall that the dismissal was announced by the Oyo State Commissioner of Police Hamzat Adebola at the police headquarters in Eleye, Ibadan. Meanwhile, the 2 special constables, identified as Jimoh Lukman and Karim Fatai, were captured in a viral video recently soliciting money from a Dutch tourist traveling to Abuja on a power bike. On petroleum matters, the Nigeria Customs Service has revealed conditions for liquefied natural gas marketers to enjoy the presidential directive on zero import of gas items and imported LPG and other accessories. According to customs, items to enjoy this waiver must be supported with an approval letter from the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy. Meanwhile, the development comes after the national president of the Nigeria Association of LPG Marketers, Oladapo Olatunbosun, lamented the non-implementation of the presidential directive on zero import duties on gas. In a separate development, 55 newly recruited officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service within the week graduated, and 52 senior officers promoted to various positions at the NIS Enugu State Command. The Assistant Comptroller General Azuka Halide disclosed this at the passing out parade of the newly recruited personnel and decoration of promoted officers at the command. Azuka said the total number of graduates is 55, made up of 27 males and 28 females, and tasked the newly recruited personnel to see their enlistment into the service as a call to duty to serve their fatherland with a sense of patriotism, discipline, determination, selflessness, and integrity. On security matters, the Nigerian Army Council on Friday promoted a total of 47 brigadier generals to major generals and 75 colonels to the rank of brigadier general. Reports say the promotion is coming after the retirement of 113 generals. Meanwhile, the director, Army Public Relations Onyema Nwachukwu, said the council approved the promotions of the senior officers and noted that the Chief of Army Staff, Tarid Lakwaja, urged them to redouble their efforts to justify their elevation and the confidence reposed in them. Back here on the home front, following the release of Justice Joy Unwana, who was abducted recently by criminal elements, the Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has met with the widow of the orderly of the judge who was shot dead by the kidnappers and her driver who was abducted alongside the judge. Governor Eno empathized with the widow and children of the slain inspector of police who was on official duty as the orderly of the judge. He assured the family of his support and that of the state government to help with the education of the children. He also sympathized with the driver who sustained some injuries from the ordeal. He offered financial assistance to the driver to handle his medical bills and other inconveniences. In attendance at the event were the Commissioner of Police, CP Olatoye Dorosimi, Commissioner for Internal Security and Waterways, retired General Koko Essien, Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Ukodom San, Honorary Special Advisor and Security, DIG Ogunyemi Jemilusi. Still to come in the news. World Bank gives Tanzania significant aid through a $1.1 billion financing package. Stay tuned for details of this and more after the break.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Yes, I'm looking for where to get quality home furniture and electronics.
Verily, I say unto you, you don't need to go to Dubai. You don't need to go to Lagos. You don't need to go to Abuja. The solution to your problem is in Uyo Akwa Ibom State, in the blessed Ife-Rico, and they sell all kinds of appliances. The only appliances that Ife-Rico don't sell is Shrine appliances.
The brand to bank on is Blessed Ife-Digo Multi Ventures. They deal on all homes and office furnitures and appliances. With Blessed Ife-Digo, you need not travel abroad in search of premium quality products like electronics, electrical appliances, light and lighting fittings, armored cables, armored doors and regular doors, all building and construction materials, generators and solar energy. They also have musical equipment, industrial equipment and lots more. Blessed Ife-Digo Multi Ventures is located at number 203 Oran Road, Uyo by Ring Road 3. You can also reach them on their customer care hotline on 0811 592 3580. You can reach them via WhatsApp on 0813 227 17092. For your best quality and affordable home and office furnitures, choose Blessed Ife-Digo. Blessed Ife-Digo, the hype is real.
In the heart of the Niger Delta, where nature's bounty thrives, there lies an opportunity for growth and prosperity. Introducing Dimbarukas Limited, your trusted partner in palm tree cultivation. With our premium palm tree seedlings, you can be a part of a sustainable industry that offers so much more than just oil. Embrace the power of palm oil tree cultivation and unlock a world of possibilities. Join hands with us as we empower local communities and create a greener, more prosperous future. As the great poet once said, the palm tree stands tall, a symbol of strength and abundance. Dimbarukas Limited, cultivating success, one palm tree at a time. Embrace the palm tree's gift and let nature nurture your dreams. To order your premium seedlings, call 0802 664 9683.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people. But there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
For brilliant broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news around the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon. Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories. In Africa, a Belgian court has sentenced the Rwandan former militia leader to life in jail for dozens of murders and rapes committed during the 1994 genocide. Sarafin Tauriha, 66, was found guilty of directly participating in or overseeing the atrocities by Hutu Intermohen militiamen in Kilgali during the slaughter of Tutsis and moderate Hutus 30 years ago. A second defendant, Peria Basson Buse, a one-time close associate of former President Juvenal Habyarimana, was also found guilty of genocide and war crimes for funding the militia. But the 76-year-old, who suffers from incurable senile dementia and was unable to attend hearings, was spared jail for health reasons. Meanwhile, the trial of the two men who were arrested in 2020 in Belgium, where they were living in exile, was the sixth held in the country over the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Still in Africa, France within the week decided to close its embassy in Niger, where it is no longer able to function normally or carry out its missions, according to diplomatic sources. This confirms a split between the two countries. Reports say this extremely rare measure comes after Niamey announced on December the 12th the departure of all French soldiers deployed in Niger as part of the anti-jihadist efforts by December 22, which is this Friday. Meanwhile, this marks the culmination of strained relations between France and Niger since the generals took power in Niamey during a coup on July 26. Meanwhile, Benin's President Patrice Talon says his country hopes to quickly re-establish relations with its military-run neighbors amid international condemnation of coups in West Africa. In his State of the Nation address to Parliament, President Talon reiterated his country's disapproval of the seizure of power by the military, but insisted that there is a time to condemn, a time to demand, and a time to take stock and take note. Meanwhile, West Africa has seen coups in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, and most recently in Niger, where ECOWAS sanctions also triggered a closure of its borders with Benin. In the meantime, civilians have complained of harassment as soldiers continue to mount unannounced raids on homes and business addresses in South Sudan's capital, Juba. The army, however, says its operations have been a success, saying that soldiers have seized thousands of deadly weapons, including assault rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, and machetes. Reports say more than 120 Juba residents have formally complained to a local NGO called Community Empowerment for Progress organization. Elsewhere, an agreement has been signed with Russia by members of the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, CVCNU, and African Vice Chancellors. The Secretary General, CVCNU, Professor Yakubu Ochefu, in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja on Friday, said that the agreement was aimed at addressing challenges in the African education system. Ochefu said that the agreement was geared toward emphasizing a shift from an agrarian to an industrial economic model. Still in Africa, Moscow's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Friday said Russia is ready to supply more grain to Tunisia. Lavrov said this during a visit to the North African country grappling with shortages fueled by drought. At a meeting with Tunisian President Kais Saied in the capital Tunis, Lavrov said Russia's crop yields had been good for the second or third year in a row and that it was willing to help Tunisia. Meanwhile, over the past 4 years, Tunisia has been plagued by drought, which dealt a major blow to its last grain season. Moving now to the foreign scene, Czech authorities sought a motive on Friday in a students' gun attack that killed 13 people at a Prague university, where tearful mourners have left a sea of candles to grieve for the victims. Recall that the gunfire on Thursday at the Charles University Faculty of Art sparked frantic scenes of students running from the attack that was the Czech Republic's worst shooting in decades. Meanwhile, there was a makeshift memorial of hundreds of candles flickered outside the university on Friday as police pursued the investigation at the campus in Prague's historic center. Reports of the gunman, a 24-year-old student, killed himself after the attack after shooting dead 13 people and wounding 25 others. Still on the foreign scene, China on Friday released draft guidelines aimed at curbing excessive spending on online gaming. Reports say this is the latest move by the ruling Communist Party to keep control of the virtual economy. Meanwhile, the proposal caused shares in the biggest Chinese gaming companies, Tencent and NetEase, to plunge in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, Britain's economy has unexpectedly shrunk in the third quarter, raising fears of a potential recession before an election due next year. The Office for National Statistics said gross domestic product contracted 0.1% between July and September, down from a prior estimate of zero growth. Meanwhile, financial activity was adversely impacted by interest rate hikes, elevated inflation, and a sliding services sector. Elsewhere, authorities have revealed that 14 foreign nationals were killed and more than 20 others wounded after a student opened fire at a university in Prague. Prague Police Chief Martin Vonček said the bloodshed took place in the Philosophy Department building of Charles University, where the shooter was a student, adding that the gunman also died. Meanwhile, Vonček said that 14 people had died and 25 were wounded after earlier reporting that 15 had died and 24 were hurt, warning that the death toll could rise. On our business news, the World Bank has given Tanzania significant aid through a $1.1 billion financing package. The fund is intended to support climate resilience, urban services, and inclusive growth in the country. According to a report from Tanzania, the fund consists of two packages. Phase 1 is a $750 million development policy financing, and Phase 2 is a $385 million Dar es Salaam Metropolitan Development Project. Phase 2. Phase 2 focuses on enhancing what Phase 1 has built upon. Still in business, the Nigerian federal government on Friday announced that it will introduce a new minimum wage for workers in 2024. The Minister of Information and National Orientation disclosed this at a Thursday end-of-year World Press Conference in Abuja. According to him, the government plans to work with organized labor on the proposed new minimum wage. He, however, did not disclose how much the new minimum wage would be. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has refuted claims that it is in talks with the federal government over implementing a new minimum wage. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has cleared the air about the registration status of some products circulating in the public. This is according to a statement signed by its Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. She listed the product as Seaway Drinking Water, Ever Premium Table Water, Peak Full Cream, Instant Milk Powder, and Golden Penny Pasta Spaghetti. According to her, it became imperative to clear the air following reports claiming that the agency was watching while the manufacturers of those products flouted expired licenses. She said that the Director of Food Registration and Regulatory Affairs of the agency investigated the erroneous claims and found that the registration status of all the 4 products mentioned in the mischievous write-up were valid. Still to come in the news. Anthony Joshua gets 3rd straight win with Welling Core. Stay tuned for details of these and more after the break.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Every day marks a day of significance.
That in view of the apology tendered by this former minister who had earlier been cleared by this August Assembly,
as we face critical issues, developments and events which shape our social and political landscape here in Nigeria and beyond. Political Spectrum is a program specially designed to help make sense of all the moving parts of developments and occurrences in our nation's polity and political economy.
There is nothing wrong with Nigeria, but there's everything wrong.
The educational history of public figures holds significance beyond mere biographical details.
From executive, legislative and judicial developments at national and subnational levels to international diplomacy and relations.
Join us for exclusive interviews with key political figures, expert opinions, analysts, thought-provoking conversations for and against, shedding light on the major issues that matter. We will always keep you updated on the most factual, smartest and unbiased reportage.
Stay tuned to Political Spectrum. Political Spectrum. All sides matter at the round table. Political Spectrum. Exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people. But there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
In the heart of the Niger Delta, where nature's bounty thrives, there lies an opportunity for growth and prosperity. Introducing Dimbarukas Limited, your trusted partner in palm tree cultivation. With our premium palm tree seedlings, you can be a part of a sustainable industry that offers so much more than just oil. Embrace the power of palm oil tree cultivation and unlock a world of possibilities. Join hands with us as we empower local communities and create a greener, more prosperous future. As the great poet once said, The palm tree stands tall, a symbol of strength and abundance. Dembarukas Limited, cultivating success one palm tree at a time. Embrace the palm tree's gift and let nature nurture your dreams. To order your premium seedlings, call 0802 664 9683.
For brilliant broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news around the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTimes DTH channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website spectrumtvlive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Yes, I'm looking for where to get quality home furniture and electronics.
Verily, I say unto you, you don't need to go to Dubai. You don't need to go to Lagos. You don't need to go to Abuja. The solution to your problem is in Uyo Akwa Ibom State, in the blessed Ife Rico, and they sell all kinds of appliances. The only appliances that Ife Rico don't sell is Shrine appliances.
The brand to bank on is Blessed Ifedigo Multi Ventures, the deal on all homes and office furnitures and appliances. With Blessed Ifedigo, you need not travel abroad in search of premium quality products like electronics, electrical appliances, light and lighting fittings, armored cables, armored doors and regular doors, all building and construction materials, generators and solar energy. They also have musical equipment, industrial equipment, and lots more. Blessed Ifedigo Multi Ventures is located at number 203 Oran Road, Uyo by Ring Road 3. You can also reach them on their customer care hotline on 0811 592 3580. You can reach them via WhatsApp on 0813 227 17092. For your best quality and affordable home and office furnitures, choose Blessed Ifedigo. Blessed Ifedigo, the hype is real.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Thanks for staying tuned. And now in conclusion of the news within the week. On our health news, the World Health Organization on Friday added the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine to its list of pre-qualified vaccines. Recall that in October 2023, the WHO recommended the use of the vaccine for the prevention of the disease in children following the advice of the WHO Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization and the Malaria Policy Advisory Group. Meanwhile, the pre-qualification means larger access to vaccines as a key tool to prevent malaria in children, with it being a prerequisite for vaccine procurement by UNICEF and funding support for deployment by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Still in health, pediatric experts have advised nursing mothers to desist from breastfeeding sleeping babies to avoid the danger of aspirating the food. Aspiration is when food, liquid or other substances accidentally enter the airway or lungs. According to the National Institute of Health, foreign body aspiration is a major cause of coincidental death in children less than 1 year old and the cause of death in 7% of children under the age of 4. Meanwhile, foreign body aspiration accounted for more than 17,000 emergency department visits and caused 220 deaths in children aged 14 years or younger. In sports, Anthony Joshua won his third fight of 2023 with a TKO victory over Otto Wallin in the main event on the Day of Reckoning card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, beg your pardon. Reports say after securing consecutive victories over Jermaine Franklin in April and Robert Helenius with a 7th round knockout in August, Joshua cruised to a 5th round technical knockout win over Wallin, who had been expected to be a formidable opponent, especially with his southpaw stance. Meanwhile, the only defeat on Wallin's record before Joshua came in 2019 against Tyson Fury. In between the Gypsy King's first and second meetings with Wilder, Fury won by unanimous decision, but the Swedish heavyweight certainly made it a harder night than expected for the lineal champ. Joshua now holds an impressive record of 27 victories and 3 losses with 24 knockout wins. Still in sports, the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations will kick off in Ivory Coast in January. Nigeria match officials will surely not be among the match officials. Reports say Nigeria referees have been in the doldrums recently when it comes to major competitions and matches. The 34th edition of AFCON will not be different as match officials are out without them. Among the 19 selected nationalities, Egypt and Morocco each have 3 representatives ahead of their leading pursuers Algeria, Gabon and Mauritania, 2 each. Meanwhile, the competition will run from January the 13th to the 11th of February 2024. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta has urged Arsenal to end their Anfield hoodoo if they want to challenge for the Premier League title. Arsenal travelled to Liverpool on Saturday evening seeking their first Premier League win in their fixture since September 2012 when Santi Cazorla and Lucas Podolski struck in a 2-0 win. Recall that Arsenal were 2-0 up in April before Liverpool staged a second-half comeback to earn a point. Arteta's side have ended a 14-year wait to secure a league victory at Manchester United, a 9-year wait for success at Tottenham Hotspur, and now is targeting another landmark win on Merseyside. On our entertainment news, American rapper Roddy Ricch within the week hinted at relocating to Lagos, Nigeria. The rapper, currently on vacation in Nigeria, said he's considering buying a house in Lagos. He said he has been enjoying rich hospitality in Nigeria. Still on entertainment news, action star Vin Diesel has been accused of sexually assaulting his assistant in Atlanta hotel room over a decade ago. Reports say the suit is the latest claim to be lodged with courts in California, which has extended the length of time in which legal action can be taken in cases of alleged sexual crimes. Speaking in court, Esther Jonasson said her first assignment after being hired by the Fast and Furious Stars company was to travel to Atlanta in September of 2010 during the filming of Fast 5 and claimed she was assaulted by him in the hotel. Meanwhile, Diesel's lawyer Brian Friedman said his client categorically denies the claim in its entirety and that there is evidence which completely refutes the allegations. Lastly, in the news within the week, sensational singer Oludipe Oluwasomi David, popularly known as Spyro, recently shared his inspiring story of overcoming financial struggles. He narrated how he faced financial difficulties at the beginning of the year 2023, saying that with determination and hard work, he was able to turn his fortunes around before the end of the year. Spyro shared his story on social media to encourage others who may be facing similar challenges. And that's all we have for you at this time on the news within the week, bringing you a recap of major stories. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. My name is Uyai Aniaka, and thanks for being a part of this. and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.